Okay. Alright, I'm gonna have to have my list right here. Okay, so we're talking about a couple of different things. Flights and birdies and all that shit. Flights was not originally what we know today, you know, that thing where they'll bounce it and everything. Flights was originally like that. And before that, flights was like this. See, that's how you get the bounce with it. So it came from that. Not like that. Not like that. Like that. That's what flights were originally. And then somehow New Jersey got hold of it and they renamed them birdies. But I don't think they ever really I knew some people could do this version, but not a lot of people were doing it. And then again, the thumb split version got really popular, the Falcons, thanks to Freaky. But as you can see, I didn't really personally learn the thumb split version that much. I learned a lot of the old school ones. Now, the one-hand ones that a lot of people remember from my earlier stuff, the one that you were talking about, is when it's like that. There were a few other things I could do out of that. I have to make it a little shorter. Nice thing about playing with these and the flights or birdies or whatever you want to call them, they can be applied in a lot of other places, like the bow tie. I don't know if it'll hold for this because these don't have butts. So let's hope I can make it work. Okay, so yeah, it can kind of go all over the place. Oh, damn, you glass-like casing. Okay, that kind of ties in, playing around with like the flights and all that, it kind of ties into the next thing, the color shifting, color tumbling stuff. Buckley and Commando were the first two that I saw playing around with this, and it works really well for like the LEDs and the flow lights. It's got the two colors here, and then you slowly pull, and then you've got the other two instead, and so you've got a lot of different ways that you can play with it. Bad timing. Okay. But more so, I started playing with it around here and everything because I really liked what Ray, Greens to Dust, was playing around with in here. Because him and I used to like online session all the time.
Just get me a goddamn cigarette. The president, the one I support, the one that I am loyal to as my job. Right?
Okay, after I apologize.
So I started playing around with tumbling, and that's where you get the color to flip, pretty much. So if you have it held like that, and you have the string crossed down, it'll always tumble like that. The other ways I was playing with it was actually getting it to pop into your hand. So if you had it held like that, you get the string part facing into your hand, you pull it and it would flip to the top side like that. And you can do the same thing if you have a string top there, it's like that, it's just the opposite way. So I started playing around with that, and we got color tumbling out of that. And then I started watching a lot of Juno's videos where he's like pin juggling, and like there's that one video where he's holding the pin, I think like that, and he brings it across his leg and it flips over his hand and he grabs grabs it, and I was like, that's so incredible. I want to incorporate that so bad, but they're so tiny. So I thought about pen spinning. So if you wind it around your hand once and then skip your index finger at the pinky, you've got just enough to hold it like that. So again, it's still in that color category because you're only seeing those two. And then you flip it, and it ends up being, you know, the other side that's showing. So inherently, the back toss is a lot easier. You just toss it like that, and it almost immediately wraps back up. The front toss is a little harder because you got to practice throwing with your pinky and ring finger. So just get used to throwing it like that. And the trick is you want it to follow along your knuckles. If it touches your knuckles, it's gonna, you know, hit, not fly forward. But if you get it as close as you can, or if you just want to shadow trace it and move your hand underneath it, that gives it a nice effect too. Unfortunately, I can only do them like one at a time on either side. My left probably won't get it. I have luck. I want to be able to do it inward like this. But like get it fast, so it's like, and then flip into there. Man, it looks so cool. But somebody will probably get it before I can. Those are all the color shifting, color tumbling, color flourishing stuff. All the name stuff. Okay, like we were saying, yeah, a butterfly fountain is called Pac-Man here. And I've also seen just the basic weave called Pac-Man. So anything having to do with just a butterfly weave, anything, butterfly anything is called Pac-Man around here. It's something that really kind of agitated me when I got here. They also, I know this one's like an international issue. People calling a full body crosser a meltdown or a mind meltdown or any of that. It's just a full body crosser. I've seen this called a cocoon, under the arm, behind the back. But no, I personally like it having its true technical name, so that way you don't have to say, oh hey, do you know how to do the cocoon? The what? Oh, this thing. Oh, dude, okay, we call that a straightjacket over here. What? Oh, no, okay, you know, this becomes a regional issue. Everybody has their own little name for it. Nobody can agree on one universal name. I mean, it's just kind of problematic when you start to exchange ideas. You were talking about full body straightjacket, so you get it like that, and then you toss this guy through here, and then you hope and you flail. Yeah, it works a lot better with longer strings, or probably better flexibility. I know my hand was barely even in there, but whatever. It's too techy for my liking. I just don't bother learning it if it's too technical and I can't flow into it. That even goes for my own manipulations and stuff. Okay. The degree lockout stuff. Okay, I made the mistake of teaching a lot of the Dallas kids in degrees. So if this is like, you know, these are just basic wraps and that's a 0 degree. When your wrists cross, that becomes a 1st degree. And I also made the mistake of telling them that you can grab your wrist like that for, you know, support and stability, and just I called it a lockout wrap because that's what we called it down in Austin, San Antonio. But I mean, it's really just for stability. Yeah, it does make it a little more trickier, but it's one of those things that an observer is not going to care, and even then a stringer may or may not catch it. So it's just overused. It's overused. There's other ways. People can get fixated on a move, and then it becomes like the move that everyone wants to push for a while. Like toroids, like caps, like orbitals, like any of that stuff, you know? There are a whole lot of moves that have been overused, and it comes in waves, and that's just what we want to focus on. And I kind of miss the old days when, I mean, it's not like we were all secluded, but everyone said, hey, I want to focus on this. That's really cool. You work on that and get some people to help you on that. I'm going to go explore this. And then we'll all just kind of commute and see what everyone's coming up with and start incorporating everything together. It makes it so much more intense that way. Exploration goes so much faster. Straightjacket stuff. Okay. Yeah, so in the degree thing, a straightjacket became like a second degree, or a third degree. And then we started talking about fourth degree, fifth degree, and we're like, no, it can only go one more twist. And even then it would be like, we were joking calling it imaginary numbers at that point. But like if it's a third degree, if you flip it one way, it'd be a positive flip. If you flip it one way, it becomes a negative flip. But it's still the same thing, it's not turning left or right. Almost done. Okay, sparrow claw stuff. I've always wanted to make a stick look like it's disappearing. It still doesn't work quite right because I don't know sleight of hand. But the closest I've got so far is that. And it dropped. The illusion is shattered. Well, anyway, you get it there and you dip down your middle finger so your index and ring kind of become like a little holder for it, and get it about knuckle deep. And then you can flip your hand and hold it. Your hand's going to be arched like that, but you can just hold it there. The fun part about it is that you can flip it forward from there. Woo! If you got a lot of finger strength, you can pull it forward to the front side of the hand, and then you use your middle finger and pinky to hold it where your ring finger is. So now it's held there in that hand. And you can put the other one there. And they both hold it. I was going to try to get both to flip and stand that way. Oh well. And then lastly, where's your hand? Superman stuff. Okay, we're talking about Superman stuff. Superman! We gotta find a better name for it. Well, I don't know, I guess it'll work. We have things like butterfly and everything else. I guess this will work. But we're talking about out of reverse weaves. Okay, so you're saying pinky side. Pinky side? I naturally want to do a thumb side. Oh well. Anyway, I'll explore that later. Stuff I wanted to show you. Okay, yeah, out of Fantastic Four, or just the upper and lower fountains and everything, there was like a lot of 3P patterns, so like, but it makes me turn, so my plane control's not quite there. Okay. Okay, out of a 2-beat, you can get it to revert, or let me start that over. When you bring it over the first time and it goes into thumb side down, set up your 4 posts, legs, biceps, and just bring it over as quick as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. The up transition's the hardest, but just like we're doing them, here and everything, I'm sure you've already explored this, but you can get it like that. Oops, I wrapped it wrong. There we are. Oops. Left side Superman, or sorry, left side Fantastic Four and everything. Woo! Oh, you get the idea. Practice those out, and then you'll be able to get like 3-peats. Right on the elbow. Let's see here. Matt showed me another one that was a 3. Okay, so for the 4, you can either have it thumb side negative, where your thumb's pointing outward, and you can just start from the right leg, start on the outside, and it's going to go outside, inside, outside of the bicep, and then somewhere on the arm. It'll just flow naturally. So we'll start negative thumb side here. Okay, so I did it once I did it reverse and then put it back and forth. So notice I'm thumb side positive now, which would be the same as if you just brought it over like that. So, reverse that shit. Get it. Okay, and then turning with it, same setup, your legs are just twisted. I was calling it east side, west side, but that's probably real controversial of me. But and then like go send this way with just it's so harder. No, it's so much harder. But playing with stuff like that. One of the other ones I was wanting to show you was calling it true behind the back. So you start off with your forward weave and you're adding a whole bunch of beats up to the 6 beat. So when it goes on the left side and you're adding up your 6 beat, walk forward on that shit. Woo! And then stick out a leg. Woo! Oh my god, it hurts so bad. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of shit that can be done from that. I think that is it. So hopefully this movie is not ridiculously long.